Anyway, you get the idea, see? If you think that talent is something you have to be born with or in your genes, you think that, okay, I can be, brilliant and intelligent and come over here. Okay, fine, good. Without the work, without the investment, without the investigation, without, what it takes to make it real, it's not going anywhere. So you're smart. So what? So are a lot of people. It doesn't mean much if you can't do something with it. You understand? See? So you created somebody to be talented. So you're talented now. Because you did that. You invented that. Maybe you invented it as a kid in some area, or you deliberately did it. See? And that's another thing. You see? You can create talent. You don't have to depend on it just falling on your ass, because nothing's going to fall on your ass that hasn't already fallen on your ass. You're all adults, mostly. Ish. Sort of. In any case, that's it. See, so now, that's all you get. Is that good enough for you? Yeah. Like whatever, that's all the talent I've got. And then you're restricted to that. Nah. Create more. Create more and find out, you yourself, find out what does it take for a human being to be able to do that, to be able to do what Leonardo da Vinci could do, or Newton, or even Einstein, which is actually far less. He was cute though. See, what does it take to do what Jesus did, or Gautama Buddha, or even some lesser creature like Peter Ralston? What does it take? Where do you come from? What kind of person do you have to be? How can you think? Say, how do you create in your own, world the source that generates this kind of stuff, that generates brilliance, that generates genius, that generates contributions, that generates inventions, whatever, that creates worlds? And you can. It's not like a pep talk. I'm saying you actually can. It's just, will you do it? And a lot of it takes a lot of work. See, not just the spirit I'm speaking about, not just the source responsibility in the matter, so that you actually, yes, I'm doing this. I can change the way I think. I can change the way thinking goes. I can change the way investigation goes. Not be limited to anything you've ever done before, and not be limited to anything anybody else has ever done before. Certainly you learn from everybody that you can. Nothing else is fun. Learning is fun. But you learn new things. See? Because the more you learn, and the more you learn in domains that you're not used to learning in, the smarter you get. If you stick to only the domains that you're good at, you remain pretty stupid. It says you can only do that, and even that you probably won't do as well as you could, for sure. And maybe not all that good, because a lot of times people enter domains, whatever, they're good at this, and so they do that, and they don't get that far with it. Their work is mediocre at best, or it's incestuous. It just keeps turning around inside their own little world, and nobody else cares. But if you learn in domains that you're not so good at, you go down this road or that road, or just more. Maybe you are good at it, but you learn. See, you learn to think differently, and that learning to think differently, learning to investigate differently, learning realities or domains that you wouldn't have ordinarily, will influence the place that you were good at to make it even much, much better, more profound, more multidimensional, more depth. But it does require a little ego kicking ass kicking, on yourself. Because whenever you enter a domain that you're not good at, you're going to suck, right? See? The first thing that's going to happen, right? See? Is you're going to suck. See? And then you've got to give up. Wait a minute, but I want it this way. I want it this way. And so I'm going to stay in my comfort zone. And you can know that I'm not a fan of staying in the comfort zone. But in any case, you see, and then you can only think that way. See? And then the thinking is always limited. And you don't see it. You can't see it. You see? But you do something else. Wow, this is all different. Oh, this is a whole different way of thinking. I never thought like that. See? Wow, how does that apply to this? Wow, that's a whole different. Oh, I see. Look, I'm not doing this anymore. That's kind of uncomfortable for a while, though. Yeah?
So thinking differently means patterns I follow while thinking, or approaching problems in a different way. So what does it mean thinking differently?
Well, what you said, yes, of course. But see, it's also like thinking does not have to be the way you think thinking is. And entertaining, it's not just taking what you've got and rearranging it differently, you see, or doing different patterns. It's like thinking outside of patterns. Say, as if. Yeah, let's take a kind of a grounded example that people know a little bit maybe about. See, so physics, right? So there's the physics of relativity, kind of Einstein's domain, and there's, relativity. So it works out mechanically in certain ways. Now, even to get that, certain aspects of gravity that weren't thought of before, how gravity actually works, and completely upside down thought about how gravity works, that's a whole new thinking. It's still, of course, relative in this sense, in its relativity, see? But it's a whole new thinking. Newtonian physics, say these rules of physics, how things go, see, very as if logistical in a sense, you see? Okay, good, brilliant contributions. See, but now that's a certain kind of thinking, and then take quantum physics. That's a totally different thinking. It doesn't follow the rules at all. You know what I'm saying? Do you know anything about quantum physics? See, it doesn't follow these rules. It's not relative like that. It doesn't like dinka, 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 boom. Can't do it. It's completely new set of how to consider physics. See, so that's a whole leap in thinking about physics in this case. As an example. But now, and all the ways that people have thought heretofore, and it would be useful for you to probably tap into some of those. Because there are ways people have thought that you don't even know, you don't know exist. Philosophical thought. Study the skeptics of ancient Greece. See if you can follow them. See? Grasp stuff that Einstein grasped about thinking relative to relativity or gravity, etc. Like that. See? How about quantum physics? How about different kinds of thought about cognitive science or mind or psychology? How about what makes art art? Why does it exist? What kind of thinking has gone on in the world of art? How about, just in the world of painting? Reproductive, impressionists. Why? What were they doing? Why did Hemingway write the way he wrote? He was imitating the Impressionists. Because he was hanging out with a lot of Impressionists, you see, in the time. Anyway, so he was trying to, use that in a different way in writing form. See? So it's a different approach. And when you understand that, you read his stuff very differently than if you just read it. Et cetera, et cetera. So what have humans done so far? Can you follow Kant in his critique of pure reason? Do you even understand what he's saying? Can you experience what he's saying? Well, you can. Have you even tried? Probably not. See? Etc. So then just that. Yeah. How did thinking come to pass? How did it occur in the first place? See, so then once you've kind of started to expand in this way, just talking about thinking, we're just talking about thinking now, that's all. See? Yeah. Then you become, far more intelligent. Because you have now learned to think in ways most people cannot or do not think. You have learned powerful ways people have created to think that you didn't know existed in your world of thinking. So you'll be, educated, but also you'll be a much better thinker. And much more powerful. You can run circles around normal people when it comes to just thinking. We're just talking about thinking now. And that's just study. Right? You had to put in some time, though, and do it. See? But you're too damn lazy, right? Well, not you, but probably somebody you know. See? And then, relative to thinking, what thinking has nobody ever done in the history of humanity? What's a new domain of thinking or a new possibility of what we might call thought, but it wouldn't fit into anything that has been thought heretofore? You see? Then that becomes the challenge. See? A thinking that is so different, you wouldn't even recognize it as thinking. You can't even think it now because you haven't created it yet. So get busy. Do you understand? See, this is what I'm talking about.